All right, this is your July the 12th message. Saturday. Right in the middle of summer, heading to my track. Bolt said, go power up and do it. That's what we're going to do. Right there, boys. Gonna get up to 108 real field today in Richmond, Virginia. Little cloud covers. That's gonna help today for the power walk. I think we got some people maybe practicing football today or soccer or something over here. Current water temperature at the beach area, 84.6 degrees. That is a record for July 12th. I'm kind of surprised the record is not a little higher than that, but that is the record. We just hit a record today. For the beach area, 84.6 degrees. Boy, I bet that feels nice and good. All right, so last night's feature presentation was this one picked by General Peters. We are having, during the July season of movie watching, a mini Christmas in July. And last night, Andy 8010 watching a Candace Cameron Bure. She was of course, Candace Cameron of Full House. Then she married Pavel Bure. I think I say it, the hockey player, NHL player. And Alan Thicke, what was it called? Let It Snow, I think. Watching a Hallmark classic, never heard of. And then he got into this like John Candy marathon. I don't know what that has to do with Christmas, but he got the Christmas Fest going. And so for Christmas Fest, and since this is really heavy Twilight Zone season, more than any season in the year of movie watching, it's not even close, July, we have 4 must-watches, maybe 5, for July alone. And there's a lot of months, there's a lot of seasons where there's 0 Twilight Zones at all, but for some reason this month is full of them. And so last night was another one. Now there's only one Twilight Zone episode that is specifically about Christmas. That of course is Night of the Meek, which I saw not too long ago with Art Carney. But last night's feature presentation, 5 characters in search of an exit. I've seen this one about 4, maybe 5 times now. It's one that the fans really are familiar with and like a lot. It's a really good one. I've always liked it. From 1961, 5 characters in search of an exit. You have William Wyndham as the major. The 5 characters come off as these Manhattan, New York born theater, Broadway type actors. A teeny little bird, look at him. What the heck? Wow, I'm gonna name you Dewey. William Wyndham is the major. The tramp is played by Kelton Garwood. Murray Matheson plays the clown. He's an excellent actor, but I find him to be annoying in this film. All snarky and sarcastic in his laugh. And he's just a really good actor. He's just really annoying in this character. Murray Matheson also showed up in the Twilight Zone movie from 1986 in the Kick the Can episode. Redo. Susan Harrison is the ballerina. She is good in this. She is ridiculously attractive. I would say she looks better than Grace Kelly. Look her up. Susan Harrison is the ballerina. Oh, she was the lead actress in the movie Sweet Smell of Success with Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis. If you've seen that. And then Clark Allen is kind of a throwaway. He's the bagpiper. And he was not in much else. And then you have 2 other credited actors. And that is at the twist ending where that's the Christmas part where it turns out they're all in a little doll donation bin and it's Christmas Eve. And Carol Hill, she's like the woman who's ringing the bell. She was Juliet's friend in Romeo and Juliet, 1968. And then you have Mona Houghton, plays the little girl who finds the doll, the little toy doll, out of the bin. Mona Houghton is the daughter of, I think the guy's name is Buck Houghton, who was like the main producer of the Twilight Zone. So, and I think that's her only film credit is in this. So you also have Rod Serling appearing. He's uncredited, but he's hovering above the bin in the beginning. This is a really good episode, and it's got some good suspense to it too. It's got really good acting. It's really relegated to one little area for the whole episode, and it is one that I would recommend checking out. But that was my entry for the Christmas in July, which ends today. So we're just doing a 2-day thing. So definitely gonna honor the Christmas in July and do something else today. Maybe something like that I normally do for like Christmas Fest. They would just feel weird watching on a 108-degree day. That'll be awesome if we get some rain today, like while at the track. That'll be really good. All right, gonna head in because my gate was closed. I'm gonna head in around this way. Got some people practicing football and then a couple of walkers. All right, and I have a few deaths to talk about that happened. All of these happened like on the same day. I think on the 9th or 10th. I just never got to them. All right. So a few deaths from last week. So we had Lee Elliott, a couple of baseball MLB players. Lee Elliott, who's played sparingly in the majors with the Cubs and the White Sox, two Chicago teams, and then he managed the Cubs and Phillies a little bit, but he was mostly a coach. Like a third base coach for a number of teams, including the 1980 World Series champion Philadelphia Phillies. So we got a ring with them. Lee Elliott passing away at the age of 87. The other baseball player was a better one named Joe Coleman, a pitcher. He compiled a 142 and 135 win-loss. That's pretty impressive. That is a pretty impressive record for someone that most people have never heard of. He played for the Senators and Tigers mostly. He was an All-Star in 1972, and in 1973 he had 24 victories and somehow didn't make the All-Star team that year. 24 victories that year was only good for second in the American League. All right. He's also the first three-generation player, first of three-generation pitchers. So his father was a pitcher in MLB, and his son was a pitcher in MLB. I think Casey Coleman was his name. I don't remember him. Maybe a very brief career. So rest in peace, Joe Coleman. It's dying at 78. The only other three-generation players I can think of would be the Boones. It would be Bob Boone and then Brett and Aaron. I think there's whoever Bob's father was. That was a third generation, but not pitchers. And then finally, Frank Layden. Does anyone remember him? NBA fans. Born in New York City. He was a Utah Jazz head coach. He had a losing record for his career, but he was coach of the year in 1984. He was the guy before Jerry Sloan. He was there at the beginning of Stockton and Malone. He had his number one retired by the Utah Jazz, and he was a kind of heavy guy, and he was known for his sense of humor and his laid back approach to coaching. There's like some really funny stories about him, like they were getting killed by the Lakers in a game like 1985, and he just leaves the court during the game and goes to the hotel and orders a sandwich and chili. And then there was another one where they were his Jazz were getting killed by some team, and they had some halftime extravaganza, like free 3-point shooting contest where some teenager won, and then Frank Layden dressed him up in a Jazz uniform during the game and like snuck him onto the court for a little bit until the refs figured out what was going on, and they stopped play. I wish there was a tape of that. Funny guy. He was on like he helped host like the Marv Albert not so serious moments, whatever it was called, in sports. So Frank Layden passing away at the age of 93. Rest in peace. And this is my track, guys. We're here at my track, and look at this. We got some serious drills going on. We're going to do a serious power walk, too. The Duck Man is out today in Mississippi doing his power walking. I'm positive of that. Great day to be at my track. It's going to be kind of it's not going to be a ridiculous 4-miler, but it will be quality. All right, guys. We got some serious training going on here at my track. All right. What else do we have serious going on? Well, I think just starting right now, the Women's Wimbledon Championship. Iga Swiatek going for her 6th career slam. The Polak against Amanda Anisimova. All right, so who wins that one? Pretty good match up there. We were talking about Amanda in the room today. A lot of positive things about her. And then, of course, tomorrow, we'll talk about this later, but tomorrow the men's championship against the 1 and 2 seed Alcaraz versus Sinner. Hey, guys. All right, good. Speaking of Amanda Anisimova, kind of similar right there, doesn't it? Power running. All right, guys. Let's see what we got here today for the water. All right. Forgot to freeze my bottle last night, but got a little of the Gatorade there. Hopefully that ice will hold up for a little. All right, amigos. Let's get it going. Power walking time. Thanks for watching. See you tonight for trivia.